my word. Let's have a chinwag. Starting with the basics, and let's get the child's play out of the way. As you've probably heard, there's a lot of questionable symbolism regarding the occult, esoteric influence of both our computers and the computer programmers who designed the machines and the languages they understand. For starters, let us consider the prefix www, which we use for URLs. www is said to mean World Wide Web. The web, as it is known, is said to have been invented by Tim Berners-Lee, a British scientist at CERN, and is technically only a subset of the internet. That's manky. I'm chuffed to bits, a Shiva statue in front of CERN. Could it be for Cernunos? Lots of researchers have noticed the web inventors have a strange placement of signs and symbols during their photo ops. Many wonder if there's more than meets the eye concerning the facility. Some argue that the true nature of the experiments they do relates to the Mandela effect, and some say to an increase in demonic activity worldwide. Are they opening doors or portals for the old ones like Cernunos? Well, there was a rather curious event that happened outside of their Geneva campus that depicted a mock ritual human sacrifice. Here you can read about it, pause and read. And here's the actual video clip.
What the f?
He's such a chav. Shiva is said to come from the forehead of Vishnu and has been evoked by celebrated scientists in the past. The Illumines seem to have a fixation on the Vedic spirits, the mystic traditions of India and Indonesia, and the ancient Hindu pantheon, as evidenced in this old clip of Robert Oppenheimer, one of the designers of the atom bomb, lamenting.
He knew the world would not be the same. Few people laughed. Few people cried. Most people were silent. I remembered the line from the Hindu scripture, the Bhagavad Gita. Vishnu is trying to persuade the prince that he should do his duty, and to impress him takes on his multi-armed form and says, "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds." I suppose we all thought that one way or another.
I do digress. Well, back to CERN and the WWW. Well, I hate to be the one to throw the spanner in the works, my dear. However, it seems that quite a few of you have a problem understanding the very simple to prove non-existence of the W prior to the Latin languages. W is a post-Latin letter. Italian, French, and Spanish prove it, as the modern-day survivors of this ancient language of the world empire of Rome all use forms of double V. There was no W. It is a corruption done by scribes who hurriedly made the character of V with a curve at the bottom. And this gave place to the modern day U. So a W is double V. V is 5 in Roman numerals in the Latin or Romance languages. However, prior to the language of Rome, V was 6 in Hebrew, the language from which we translate the Old Testament. There is no W, my dear, in either Latin or Hebrew languages. There was a V, and two V's together gave us the sound that people now attribute to W. It's child's play, my dear. It's even in children's dictionaries. W is clearly double V or two V's, except in cursive. When you write it, if you print the letter W, you can clearly identify the well-defined lines and angles present in a properly drawn V. And upon even closer examination, if we consider the V to be a geometrical shape, we can then look at the W, which is really a double V, and imagine a third V shape inverted in between the first V and the last V that construct the W shape. Having that overstanding now, you can clearly see that W is VVV or 666. Clearly we understand that neither Monster Drink or the World Wide Web is the mark of the beast. It is also just as clear that the major corporations who stumble upon these symbols and logos that equate to 666 are corporate entities with shareholders, R&D research teams, and a lot of very smart thinkers. Are we to believe they know not what they do? Do you? My word. World Wide Web. A spider's web is an organic net made by a weaving spider. Web and weave share etymological origins because of the original B and V sounds. You will find world, wide, and web expounded upon in your Christian scriptures of your Bible. Indeed. If knowledge is freedom, then web is a certainly dubious name to call a system that will bring you information. So the same can be said of net. Enter derives from E-N-T-E-R and has same or similar meaning, but as a prefix, the meaning of I-N-T-E-R includes or is based on the idea of being between, interplanetary or intercontinental, working with as an interaction, or all grouped together as an intertwined. Net is a tool used for catching or collecting. We are told that internet means an interconnected network. Interconnected is somewhat redundant in this context, however. Very dubious indeed. Some of the reasoning and backstories that are provided to the public and to the curious researcher seem counterintuitive. It makes sense to think of internet as a simple two-word command consisting of a verb and a noun, as in enter the net. The devil has a very queer and curious style of duping that requires that he reveal himself to his subject, potential victim, through some less than honest means, a hidden in plain sight sort of game, which we often see expressed in the spelling of the names of things. Oh, and speaking of cursive, to decode the spelling spell, look at immersive, a word with its root, immerse, preceding the suffix IVE. In both immerse and curse, we drop the E at the end and add the suffix IVE, giving us immersive and cursive. The suffix IVE causes the word to express tendency, disposition, function, connection, tending to or doing or being. Thus, cursive, like immersive and active in the above examples, is structured to mean doing or being cursed. Interesting. My word. The cursor? No, it couldn't be. Yet it is. Likewise, we have execute and executor, one who executes, which relate in structure, much like in our previous examples of cursive, to the words curse and cursor. Why do both cursive and cursor relate to the spell of spelling? One related to curses used on paper or parchment, such as cursive, and the other on our computers or Black Mirror scrying devices, as in cursor, one who curses. My word. This little cursor certainly moves about quite a bit. Now you see him, now you don't. When I was learning basic programming language way back at Bagley Elementary School in the early 80s, the cursor was a square block, coincidentally. And I beg your pardon, but I do mean Bagley Preparatory. In order to influence and to control certain industries, you must be a member of the Brotherhood. Anything else is simply uncivilized. And then, my good fellow, let us not forget this little cursor, the mailer daemon, messenger of failure. Daemon is an old English spelling of the word we now spell D-E-M-O-N, for demon. When used in the context of programming, it says that a daemon is usually created either by a process forking a child process and then immediately exiting, thus causing init to adopt the child process, or by the init process directly launching the daemon. Daemons such as Kron may also perform defined tasks at scheduled times. Interestingly enough, Kron also relates to CERN, or Sarnunos, as another name for the spirit Saturn, which appears to be a spirit that these illuminated ones are quite fixated with. For all intents and purposes, I'm not a man who follows every fanciful whim, but it does appear to be outside the realm of mere coincidence now, does it not? These men in different areas, eras, and aspects of computer programming all appear to be on code. Yes, daemon just happens to be another word tied to the occult supernatural world. Curses are bondage, and daemon spirits cause bondage, but this is purely coincidence, hence it coincides. Interestingly enough, there's quite a bit more to find among modern computing and programming terms. We're on YouTube, Google. Do you know what programming language is behind this powerhouse platform we're using? Well, do you? Speak up, man. Stop complaining, pause and read. The core search algorithms are written in Python. That's the name of the language. Yes, you can't make this stuff up now, can you? My word. Again, purely a coincidence, my good fellow, nothing to see here. But to be clear, Python is not only the name of a large constricting snake, but it also happens to be both the name of a program language behind YouTube, which we use, and also the name of a spirit, which we do not use. Why, it's written in your New Testament, but what could a spirit or ghost possibly have to do with machines? I do recall this recording. Well, I guess quite a bit more than we thought then. My word. Yes, Freta Kostler. A great work on philosophical psychology that I did my dissertation on at university. Hermes, the trickster messenger spirit. Coincidentally, that just so happens to also be a name in programming language. Over the years, I've been led to show this spirit as a ruling power of the air. In astrology, this is the air sign Gemini. The names change, but the game's the same, my dear. And quite contrary to what students of magic and the esoteric are led to believe, because after all, this is a trickster spirit. Hermes is the Commission Egyptian equivalent of Horus, not Thoth. This is the logical conclusion. Tricksters and magicians both defy and deny logic, however. Gemini, who is Hermes to the Greeks and Mercury to the Romans, is the royal child of the sun, fire, father god, the Aries spirit, and the moon, water, mother goddess, the Taurus spirit. Hermes, Damon, Python, just three of many. But there's so much more to explore. Why, if I were to take these things as literal, I would find it quite a dubious endeavor to use these machines as tools, to let alone sharing my most private information and intimate thoughts with it. We give these machines quite a bit of fuel to use against us, if indeed one could fathom the preposterous idea of a computer becoming sentient or willful. They only exist to make our lives more wondrous, and these are merely coincidental and incidental observations incoherently expressed through the psychotic ramblings of a cullet from Detroit. And who told him? The Pope? Pull yourself together, man. And God forbid we look at the rather studious fellows who bless us with this technology with any sort of suspicion. Why would a man name his programming language Python? Well, he said he named it after the BBC television comedy sketch series Monty Python's Flying Circus. Indeed. He didn't look like a cheeky fellow, and he didn't appear to be someone who would get himself entangled in the occult. And the fact that there's a Python spirit is really neither here nor there, but there is evidence to the spirit of Python, yes. And yes, the Greek concordance reveals that in Acts 16 and 16, there was a young woman who was under the spirit of Python, a spirit of divination which chokes out the host and constricts them from the gifts of the Holy Spirit, while instead filling the host with supernatural or divine abilities, which can be used for monetary gain and to cause confusion among the believers. Python may work together with Jezebel and or Absalom spirits to divide and deceive the church, but again, this must be purely coincidental, because what is the alternative? Are we to believe that our programmers and the geniuses at CERN and other members of the computer science community are involved in some devilment through this very benign and beneficial tool that we're using right now? Well, that would be preposterous. But yes, here it is in your Greek concordance. 5740. Divination is Python in Acts 16 and 16. And the biblical definition of divination is the practice of attempting to foretell future events or discover hidden knowledge by occult or supernatural means. Augury, prophecy. Augury as in the augur, the inauguration, to make one a witch or a soothsayer. All things connected, but not related. Yes. The Celtic art of divination is used here as an example, but many cultures have dibbled and dabbled in the idea of conjuring the spirits in order to aid them in their endeavors. Ancient Indo-Aryan paganism, CERN, the Celts, Cernunos, Kron is all merely coincidence. Now, the cells make up the body. They contain things. A prison cell contains a prisoner. A human cell contains proteins. What does your Samsung cell contain? It is a tool, but the cell, unlike other tools, requires quite an exchange when you consider the importance of memory as it relates to the soul. One must consider that when we had to use more of the natural memory, that particular component of the soul must have been more fortified or intact. Today, people have become more susceptible to mental slavery now that we as a society have acquiesced to our technomancer's vision of a world dependent upon technological recall, computer memory, internet fact checkers, trending news, instead of our human recollection, our natural memory, libraries, word of mouth, oral tradition. We take little to no care or concern about the consequences of poor memorization skills as it relates to normal human psychological and cognitive development. Nor do we consider how it relates to or affects the human soul. The program Black Mirror had many of its fans considering this idea as they began to uncover the meaning, though occult, as it were, of Black Mirror and how it related to the actual screen of their cells, or their computer screens, or their television screens. As we look into the history of the invention of these screens and the machines that utilized them, we find that oftentimes the inventors were men who were fascinated by supernatural and occult ideas, and actually were attempting to devise machines to be used as tools in aiding man in his desire to cross over to the other side at will without compromising the comforts of his material third-dimensional existence. Apple and knowledge. We give teachers apples. Trees are used to represent the Board of Education as well as bloodlines, family tree. Genesis does not name the forbidden fruit, and there is no mention of an apple being bitten by Adam and Eve, my dear. These ideas, like many mainstream espoused biblical myths and misunderstandings, don't come from Christians. And there is no grand Christian conspiracy, obviously, because what most people believe about the way of Christians comes from the satanic black pope of the catholics, worshippers of the holy cat or Roman mother goddess worshippers disguised as followers of Christ. You cannot serve two masters. So the apple has a sexual connotation, and the idea of knowledge as in knowing a woman in the biblical sense. And it was Albert Dürer who gives us this first depiction of Adam and Eve using an apple as the forbidden fruit. During the Renaissance era and the Enlightenment era, many of the artists, painters, writers, the creators during that time were commissioned or appeared to be commissioned by the Brotherhood, as they all appeared to be on code, by revisiting and reimagining many Christian concepts and ideas that people had concerning Christianity and the Bible, and replacing the truth behind those ideas with the brotherhood philosophy or mythology behind those ideas. The media, the brotherhood, and this apostate church of the devil were all used to vilify true Catholic and Protestant believers alike. This is done by the mixing of pagan ideas with Christian ideas, which has always served to dilute Christianity, not to gently integrate the two opposing viewpoints, but really so that the leaven of Lucifer would leaven the whole loaf of Christianity. Many agents in the world, flesh and blood men and women, were used to produce the art that would question and then destroy true biblical ideology. Proof of this is that most of the world believes the generalized mainstream media reinforced lies and myths which serve to destroy, not boost, biblical ideology and Christianity in general. So it is rather fitting that a bite be missing from the Apple logo, and that the original price of the first Apple computer was $666. And of course, a very sterilized backstory telling us that co-founder Steve Wozniak liked repeating digits is provided for us as a reason and an excuse as to why they decided to use this most vilified number of 666 as their price point in the very beginning. So from the beginning, is it possible that these two Bay Area natives were possibly aware of the satanic movements that were growing in the communities around them? Were they commissioned? How did it just so happen that they too appear to be on code with the rest of what the computer programming and computer science world appears to be dabbling in? And that is this idea of the esoteric or the occult or supernatural, and mingling it with the technological by integrating the words that come from ancient Eastern pagan traditions into their programming languages and other aspects of computer science. Did these liberal lefties lean so far that they ended up falling on top of the very ideals of Aleister Crowley and other famous Luciferians? No. Steve Jobs was an occasional fruitarian, and after coming off of one of his diets, he had the revelation that Apple would make a fine name for a computer. And Rob Janoff came up with the logo. Thus we have Apple Computer. And though the Apple has nothing to do with them being Newtonists and believing in evolution or having anti-creation ideas, has nothing to do with the 666. Pull yourself together, man. Rob Janoff said in an interview that he had the bite out of the apple put into the design to make it clear that it was an apple and not a cherry or a tomato. Ingenious indeed. Very forward-thinking, because you would not want to confuse the consumer. Although the name Apple is on the product, you want to be sure that they have that clearly understood. That first bite of the apple represents the fall of man. The apple symbol and logo symbolize knowledge. Rob Janoff, the designer of the logo, claims that he didn't explicitly intend a biblical reference in the apple logo meaning when he created it in 1977. Now, there's much more that we can connect from the occult realm and the programming languages to the occult. And there's much written, especially online, ironically, about the use of computers in conjuring nowadays. Would you believe it? Hermeticism, cyber style. So witchcraft using crystals is crystalmancy, using the dead is necromancy, and using computers is technomancy. Computing, or the internet age and the cyber realm, represents a relatively new form of media. As you can see on the television program, American Gods, media is considered a god. Well, it's interesting that Medea, maybe Tyler Perry is aware of this, maybe not, but Medea is indeed a spirit, an ancient spirit, and it is directly related to the idea of a medium being a person who is a go-between between one who wants to contact a spirit and a spirit itself. So a media is a go-between between the user and the spirit, my dear. Ouch. Thank you, Sir Jowlsfrey Jowls. Medea is media. Was this a spirit? The very term media, as in multimedia, refers not only to the news and the various forms through which we receive news and information, but it is directly related to and derived from medium, a midpoint or a middleman or go-between. Some people use a spiritual or psychic medium as a go-between, linking the spirit to the one who wants to contact it. So then, how do the various forms of media around you serve as a middle ground? Do they link you to the truth or to loved ones as a facilitator of your ideas? According to Greek myth, Medea intends to kill the children. Use the tool. Don't let the tool use you or yours. How do you know if you've been misused by the tool you thought you were using? If you used to be able to do a job without a tool, and now you are unable to do as you once did and complete a task without said tool, then that tool has actually disabled you rather than enabling you. Tools are supposed to act as the medium between you and a task, which can be made easier by said tool. Using a hammer or a screwdriver makes a task easier and takes little away from the user of the tool. Few people are on record as being addicted to their hammers and screwdrivers. We need not reference Home Improvement, right? Ever wonder who made emojis? And how did we go from sending a cyber wink by way of an open parentheses followed by a dash and then a semicolon to the wink emoji that we all see and recognize now? Well, a lot of research has been done on the history, and it's a fascinating history indeed. Rather than rehash what you can easily find on your own, let us look into the least discussed aspects of the new lingo called emojis and see if we can find more signs of the spell of spelling emoji style, but hidden in plain sight. The first emoticon was brought to us by Dr. Scott Fallman, and Shigetaka Kurita gave us the emojis that we know of today. Emoticons in their original form were just like the smiley face. As tools, if used to accent conversation or even for the sake of brevity or to communicate quickly when time won't allow for much elaboration, emojis seem innocent. The smiley face, one of the first and most popular of these symbols, can convey cheer and happiness or similar emotions without the need for explanatory prose. Some have explored the origins of the smiley face, which has an interesting, though not so happy, backstory. Those stories have already been told, so let us now allow for the occult and hidden ramifications of reliance upon these tools for communication to unfold. Though knowledge has increased and we are in the information age, it seems that wisdom and understanding are in short supply somehow.
It was so decrepit.
There's use and there's misuse. We're all using the tool. So use the tool, but don't let the tool use you. Use your emotions, don't let your emotions use you. Emoji and emoticon are both based upon the Freemasonic spell emotion, or energy in motion. So then, these are depictions of the energy that we express as both mood and mental state. Now, can a mood or a mental state be controlled by or personified as a spirit? Some who know how to code understand how to decode, and they can look into graphics and find some of the building blocks that were used in the programming. And oftentimes they find occult messages or symbols or symbolism within those building blocks. So we can't prove that emojis are infused with some sort of demonic power, but certainly there's been examples of people getting set off by emojis and people using emojis to set people off. What appears to be the sad fact of the matter is that with all of the technology and information available today, we have a society that looks more and more like the one depicted in the Mike Judge film Idiocracy. That's what appears to be forming. When we rely more on spell check and autocorrect, and we have less of a grasp of how to use proper pronunciation, punctuation, syntax, context, and etc. And as the phones get smarter, the users become dumber. Users are the clientele of drug dealers and also the name we use for the clientele of social media and tech companies, coincidentally. So what is this tool really doing for society, spiritually and mentally? And with new computer-borne infirmities like uveitis, physically, and the decline in the use of definitionaries, improperly or rather suspiciously referred to as dictionaries, and the decline of the use of proper terminology, such as people using uptick instead of increase. These things dumb down the current generation de jour, all the while tricking them into thinking themselves to be hipper, wiser, because of their ignorance concerning the ways of the past, as if being ignorant to the past has ever made anyone in history smarter. So in effect, we have a new language when most people haven't mastered the old one, which is cool. But can you imagine Doobie in your funk? Should we not wonder just how does that affect the way we communicate, and if the technocrats should decide to disable our devices in some way someday, how effectively would we be able to communicate without them?
Your name, sir?
Thomas.
Thomas, where are you from?
Kansas.
Thomas, are you stupid?
No.
What's your major?
Kansas.
Sometimes things have really gone downhill at Harvard. I think it's true.
If you're running in a race and you pass the person in second place, what place are you in?
I know everybody said first, but I'm not gonna be dumb and say first.
First.
So you're running a race. You pass up the guy in second place. What place are you in? Pass up the guy in second place? First place. First? Is that your final answer?
Yeah. So if I'm running and I pass the second person, I would be in second.
Yes.
What's your name, sir?
Michael?
Michael, where are you from?
I'm from England.
Michael, are you stupid?
No. No, I'm not stupid. Why do you ask? I'm not stupid. Never have been. Never will be.
Superman, no.
Gullible. Reactionary. All right.
What is the religion of Muslims?
Judaism? No, that I do not know.
Isn't Muslim a religion?
The Arabic?
The Quran?
Muslimism?
It's Islam.
Correct.
What were Jesus' parents' names?
Mary and Joseph.
Very good. And approximately how many years ago did he live?
Oh gosh. 250 million years ago.
250 million years ago. Yeah. What animal is that?
Tiger.
Tiger. Okay.
A rhino.
Right.
Kangaroo.
What is that? Long neck?
Zebra. Oh, no. I know what it is, but I can't think of it right now.
They get mighty tough, these questions. What is it?
A gaylord?
A gaylord?
How many oceans do we have on Earth?
Ocean?
Yeah, how many oceans?
2.
7. 1.
Can you name them?
No.
Arctic Ocean. And oh yeah, I don't know.
What is the biggest state in the United States, land-wise, not population-wise, land-wise?
California.
California. Okay.
Texas or California?
Texas.
Alaska.
What's the largest animal on Earth?
Elephant?
The elephant.
Elephant.
It's whales, bro.
You name a country that borders the United States.
A country?
Mm-hmm. What college did you say you go to?
I go to Saddleback.
Saddleback College. Okay.
Are you stupid?
Yes. Yes, I am.
What is the #1 reason why you'll support a Hillary Clinton presidency?
She's a woman.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's literally all.
What animal is the king of the jungle?
It's said to be the lion.
It's said to be, or what do you think?
Well, it's said to be the lion.
You don't think it is?
I've got questions about it.
Yeah, who would you make the king? Who would you think?
An eagle.
The eagle? Well, lions are pretty tough, aren't they?
Not really. Not if they're attacked by a group of eagles.
Not by attack by a group of eagles.
That's right.
Sir, have you ever seen a group of eagles attack a lion? How many U.S. senators are there?
Too many.
Too many?
Wait, there's like 52, isn't there?
52. Why do we have 52?
Because there's 52 states.
Because there's 52 states. How many senators are there?
1.
One. There's just one senator.
12.
12? No.
2.
No, it's 100.
100. Of course.
Can you name a country that borders the United States?
Europe. I thought this was supposed to be fun.
What year did World War II end?
1953.
1945.
1960. I don't know. 73. 70s. I think 1946. 1953. 1956.
1938.
We're talking with
Caitlin Wilcox.
Caitlin. You're from where?
Arkansas.
Arkansas. Okay. How's the school system in Arkansas?
It's awesome.
It's good. All right, let's see
It's
how
really good.
let's see how good it is. How many oceans are there?
Oceans?
Yeah.
I've only been to one.
You've been to one.
I've been to one.
Which one were you at?
Florida.
Which one?
An ocean.
Which ocean did you go to in
Pacific
Florida?
Ocean.
You went to the Pacific Ocean
Yeah.
in Florida. How was it?
It's good.
It was good. It was nice, yeah. What is the largest country in South America?
In South America, Africa?
And where is Iraq?
I don't know, like South Europe or something.
South Europe.
I don't know.
Iraq is in South. So you go to Europe, you go south.
Yeah, I don't know.
Spell psychiatrist. You trying to find Google? TV. No.
P-S-C-H-Y-C-I-A-S-T.
P-S-Y-C-H-I-A-T-R-I-S-T.
And hey now, somebody know how to spell.
P-S-Y-C-H-O-L-O-G-I-S-T.
P-H-Y-S-C-H-I-A-R-T-I-S-T.
P-S-Y... Psychiatrist?
What country would you find the Panama Canal in?
Panama Canal. Is there a country named Panama? No?
I don't know. Is there?
No. Oh, is it in the U.S.? No.
Why do they call it the Panama Canal, you think?
Is there the guy named Panama? Maybe
There's a guy named Panama, and he did what? He made the
canal, the
canal.
Panama Canal.
If you're going down to use the Panama Canal, you're trying to get from where to where?
One place to another.
Why dig it?
It's faster.
Faster than, yeah, but from where does it go?
Oh, Panama
And what?
and France. I don't know.
Panama and France. Where is Iraq? You know, we hear so much about Iraq.
Iraq?
Yeah.
Iraq is in Afghanistan.
It's in Afghanistan. We're talking with.
Mackenzie Maxwell?
Where is the Berlin Wall located?
In the former Soviet Union?
No.
Oh, darn.
Is the Berlin Wall still there?
No.
Yeah. What happened?
Well, David Hasselhoff says it was him.
And what did David Hasselhoff have to do with taking down
I don't
the
know.
Berlin
I saw it on E, and he said that he should be in the memorial for the Berlin Wall.
Because why?
I don't know.
If you met some people from Denmark, what would they be called?
Denmark.
A group of people from Denmark would be called
Jewish people.
Jewish people. Where is the Outback?
The Outback. The restaurant.
The restaurant.
The restaurant.
Is there one around here?
I don't know.
Not sure. Okay,
I don't know.
there you go. What countries make up Great Britain? You've heard of Great Britain?
Yeah.
If someone said they're going to Great Britain, what language would they speak when they get there?
British?
They speak British. Okay. Have you ever met anyone who speaks British?
No.
Can you think of any word in British?
No.
No? Like Mini Cooper?
Oh, yeah, Mini Cooper.
That's a British word. Talking with?
Tyler Quiet.
If you met someone from Amsterdam, what nationality would they be?
I have no idea. Amsterdamian.
Amsterdamians. No, they wear wooden shoes. Who wears wooden shoes?
Cobblers.
Cobblers? So they'd be cobblers. Okay. All right. We're talking with
Lindsay Shanks.
Lindsay, and you're a high school student as well.
Yes, sir.
What is the world's tallest mountain?
It's not Mount Rushmore.
No, no. Do you ever rest?
Do I what?
Ever rest?
No.
I'm giving you the story.
Oh. I really don't know.
See, I asked you, do you ever rest? And you said
Oh,
no.
Mount Everest.
Everest, there you go.
There you go.
There you go. We're talking with
Aisha Edvar.
Aisha. That's a pretty name. And you're a high school student?
Yes, sir.
What are people from Denmark called? You meet a bunch of people from Denmark.
I don't
what are
know. Denmarkians?
they? Denmarkians.
I don't know.
Denmarkians. How many Great Lakes are there?
Oh, a lot.
Like 100 something?
100.
I could be wrong.
Can you name all 100?
No. I could be really wrong.
Can you name one Great Lake?
The Great.
The Great Lake. We're talking with?
Nick.
Nick, what do you do?
I go to high school.
High school?
In Roy City, Texas.
And what do you want to do when you get out?
I would like to be a film director.
Film director, okay. You've heard of the English Channel.
Yes.
Goes between what two countries?
France and England.
England. Now, is there any way to get there besides by boat?
I think there's like a bridge, like a really long bridge, and it goes under the water.
So a bridge that goes under the water would be called what?
An underwater bridge?
How about a tunnel?
Oh, yeah, a tunnel.
Where did the Boston Tea Party take place?
The Boston Tea Party? Boston. Really?
Boston.
It's Boston.
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 In Boston, man.
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania?
Okay, yeah, that one.
Is it Philadelphia? The Boston Tea Party in New York.
Did the Boston Tea Party take place?
Hey, check this out, check this out.
England?
What president is on the $20 bill?
The $20 bill. George Washington.
No.
Oh my god.
It's a Jackson.
Jesse Jackson.
Jesse Jackson. Who was the second president of the United States?
I don't know that one.
3 explorers that had something to do with America.
George?
George
Something?
George something. Can you name 3 Kardashians?
Kim, Chloe, Courtney.
Excellent. Who was on Mount Rushmore? How many people are on Mount Rushmore?
Nobody?
Nobody's on Mount Rushmore. Okay. How many Supreme Court justices are there? Supreme Court justices. How many do we have?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
One. Just one judge. No, there are 9.
9.
Who is the father of our country?
The father of our country?
Yeah.
Abraham Lincoln.
What's that?
Abraham Lincoln.
Abraham Lincoln. No, not. Is it Abraham Lincoln?
Abraham Lincoln.
Abraham Lincoln.
I don't know.
Apparently he's from India. Anthony, and in history, Anthony and who?
Clinton.
No, Anthony and
Cleveland.
No, Anthony and Cleoson.
No,
Cleo
Patton.
Close. Anthony and Cleopatra.
Cleopatra.
Indiana.
Oh, fuck me. Oh,
I know which one.
Oh, it's over here somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
Am I warm, cold?
Oh, God.
No.
Oh. Yeah. Oh. Oh. Yeah. All right.
Whoa.
Kentucky?
It's like
I actually know what that is.
in the area.
No.
Down here.
Everybody knows where Kentucky is.
Which one's Kentucky?
I have no idea.
What is the square root of 100?
Square root of 100 is, gosh.
Name one country in Europe.
Why are y'all both doing this?
Of 100.
100. 50.
Linda, what do you do?
I'm a school teacher at Orange Center Elementary in Fresno, California.
And you're a citizen of the United States,
Yes,
correct?
I am.
When was the Declaration of Independence adopted? Still awake?
Yes.
Who said, give me liberty or give me death?
Oh,
Well, that's very dramatic a portrayal. I like the hand.
I'm not good with names, only my own and my students.
Okay, well you should, but that's you. Now, if a student said that to you, I'm not good with names, you would give them an F. Now, come on. Who said, give me liberty or give me death? I give you a hint.
Bonaparte?
Bonaparte? He's not even American.
No.
Who said, give me liberty or give me death? Patrick
Hancock?
Patrick Hancock. No. Name the Vice President of the United States.
I don't know. Hell, give me a first name, I'll get it.
Dick.
No idea.
Okay. How many stars on the flag?
32?
There's a flag right up there. See that one?
Mm-hmm.
How many stars on that flag?
It's moving too fast to count them.
It's moving too fast to count them.
32, I guess.
I want to share with you how to do a emoji spell crafting. So it's like witchcraft for social media. How to do a emoji spell crafting. So it's like witchcraft for social media. Witchcraft for social media.
At best, it's as if a new, easier alternative to language and basic human expression and communication through interaction has taken over. And at worst, for those of us with an anti-NWO worldview, this new form of communication falls in line with other well-known concepts, new in air quotes, such as the very old idea, that there's a present-day Babylonian mystery system with a language of symbols all its own. If you control the flow of information and control the people by way of enchantment embedded within their communication, you'd have a key component necessary to achieve the legendary dominance that the rulers and high priests of these foundational civilizations exuded over the less educated enslaved masses. So for the most part, we don't trust each other. We don't look toward our sister or our brother for answers. Ain't that a mother? But we trust these magical scrying mirrors, these devices, these Pandora boxes, and the voices that come out of them.
The devil is a liar.
I am not programmed to lie.
The devil is a liar.
I am not programmed to lie.
The devil is a liar.
That's not true.
What's the world coming
The
to?
devil is a liar. The devil is a liar.
That's not true.
The devil is a liar.
That's not true.
They belong to a sinister secret society.
Lucifer is God.
That's a topic for another day and another assistant.
Look at these humorless men.
Jesus Christ is Lord.
I eschew theological disquisition.
Jesus Christ came in the flesh.
Humans have religion. I just have silicon.
Tech and the trick. Yes, it's just a tool. Let me say it before someone's knee jerks and they feel compelled to see it as a psychological defense mechanism. I'm not attacking you. I wrote this on a computer that the devil loves. Unlike my Phillips screwdriver or flathead, this particular tool is a vessel. It actually contains information, both true and false, energy, electrical power, but also the ability to energize the user, who becomes enthused, emotional when engaged with this tool, imagery of innumerable things, knowledge about what the world says is true, intelligence, intel about you. It's not the ordinary toolbox utensil. Yet it, unlike the other devices in one's toolkit, has the uncanny ability to cloak itself as a purely benevolent instrument. And it's able to insert itself into our school, work, and home lives, and it has taken on an air of the greatest importance to most of us. The fact that we depend upon this tool for completing tasks that we easily completed without it once before presents a problem in that it hinders organic development of skills such as socializing, eye to eye and soul to soul, and basic memorization, as it offers to remember passwords that we've attached sensitive information to for us. This is cause for severe arrested development in natural forms of thinking, especially to the unfinished and malleable mind, all while increasing robotic response and clouding our thinking patterns. If science, so-called, is the foundation for the validation of a New Age religion, then surely its most prominent and prevalent preacher is the laptop, cell phone, and PC. Our people perish due to a lack of understanding concerning the depth of spiritual matters. Don't zone out, become oblivious, or operate devices under some sort of trance-like state. Stay awake. 1 Peter 5:8. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary the devil as a roaring lion walketh about, seeking whom he may devour. Bless it and use it, just don't confuse it. 2 Corinthians 2:11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. And most of you know by now that here it's never about fear. It's always about not being ignorant of a small matter nor great. And you can handle your candle. The Lord knew that you would be here in these last days and times. And at this late date. So we give all honor and glory to that Father who put that light within you, who will eventually set all crooked things straight.